Have you ever seen Ghostbusters? You know, the 1984 classic film with Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd? There's a scene in the movie where Harold Ramis's character, Egon Spangler, talks to the other two, and he advises them, don't cross the streams. It could be bad. But cross-contact isn't just an issue for the Ghostbusters. It can be an issue for anyone with allergens. If not cleaned properly, those pots and pans of yours might have trace amounts of allergens that could make somebody really sick. So today, we talk about how to bust the ghosts of dinners past on this episode of Awesome Factor. Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Awesome Factor. I'm Ben Sparrow. Thanks so much for tuning in. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about cross-contact. Now, cross-contact is a little different than cross-contamination. I know they sound similar, you think maybe they're the same thing. They're quite different. Cross-contact is different from cross-contamination because cross-contamination has to do with bacteria and viruses, whereas cross-contact has to do with the allergen itself. According to Food Allergy Research and Education, cross-contact happens when one food comes into contact with another food and the proteins mix. As a result, each food then contains small amounts of the other food. These amounts are so small that they usually can't even be seen. There are two types of cross-contact, direct and indirect. Direct cross-contact is when an allergen was directly applied and then removed. And indirect cross-contact is when an allergen was not directly applied. Direct cross-contact is the more noticeable of the two, like peeling cheese off of a cheeseburger to make it a hamburger, or removing shrimp from a salad, maybe even scraping peanut butter off of a piece of bread and using it to make a different sandwich. And those are all clearly visible examples, but indirect cross-contact isn't always as obvious. Some examples of indirect cross-contact are using the same spatula that flipped a cheeseburger to flip a hamburger, not washing hands after handling shrimp before making the next salad, or wiping off or not properly cleaning a knife that's used to spread peanut butter before using it to spread jelly. And this is where I want to focus in for the rest of the episode. You almost never think about indirect cross-contact. So, what are some ways that we can avoid this? The most ideal way is to purchase a separate set of cooking utensils that are used for just allergen-free meals, meaning that if you're in a shared kitchen, you have some cutting boards that are for anything, and separate cutting boards that are color-coded that you can only use for allergen-free dishes. This isn't always financially viable, so the next step is learning how to properly clean the utensils to make sure allergens are removed. According to foodallergy.org, 1 tablespoon of concentrated bleach per gallon of water at normal room temperature is the standard for cleaning food preparation surfaces. Hotter water temperatures decrease the effectiveness of the bleach solutions, so it's important that it is room temperature. Just sanitizing surfaces doesn't actually remove the allergen, which is the problem. Using soaps and commercial cleaning agents effectively remove allergens from tabletops, while just dishwashing liquid doesn't. When cleaning these surfaces, you should use separate sponges and dish rags because allergens can't just be sanitized away. So anything that remains on a sponge or dish rag can be transferred to otherwise clean surfaces. Soap and water or commercial wipes will remove all food allergens. Sanitizing gels or water alone don't. I think a lot of times we don't think when we're cleaning. We just, use Dawn dish soap or scrub with some soap and water, some sanitizer, but you have to think about what you're trying to get rid of. If you don't actually scrub away the food particles, well, they're still going to be there and they'll still cause allergic reactions. So being able to not just sanitize, but scrub away, that is the key. Another important tip is that when you're cooking two foods, one with an allergen and one without, cooking the food without an allergen first guarantees that there's not that cross-contact from the allergen-rich food you're cooking next. While not all-encompassing, these tips hopefully help you when you're cooking your next meal for somebody that suffers from a food allergy. These processes may be inconvenient, but they're really important for somebody that has an allergy. The kinds of utensils we use, the way in which we wash them, and the way in which we cook food all contribute to making sure that there's an allergen-free environment. But this is only in your kitchen. When you're at the store, you also have to think about the foods that you buy that are pre-prepared. Are they made in an allergen-free facility? Are they packaged on the same line as something with an allergen? This requires you to do research on the companies that you buy products from. This podcast is by no means the end-all be-all when talking about cross-contact. The purpose of it is more to make you think, get your mind going. Every family, every friend group is different, and so you may approach this in a different way. But like I said before, this is almost like a thought experiment. How do you make sure that the foods you cook are guaranteed allergen-free? We do anything to keep our family safe. And sometimes that means doing research, cleaning differently, buying new pots and pans. But remember, it's not for you. It's for the ones you love. For our partner McYoung Foods, this topic is near and dear to their heart. That's why their facility in Indianapolis, Indiana is a completely nut and tree nut free facility, which means that no nuts are allowed on the premises. All the equipment that they use have never had nuts touch them. Many of McYoung Foods' competitors have nuts in their granola. And even if the granola doesn't have nuts, it's made in a facility that contains nuts in some way, shape, or form. Taking that extra precaution to be nut-free is one of the many ways McYoung Foods likes to show that they care, because a dedicated nut-free facility isn't for them. It's for you. Thanks for watching The Awesome Factor. We hoped you learned a thing or two. If you like this video, hit that like button and hit that subscribe button and ring that bell to get all notifications on upcoming content. The Awesome Factor is made in collaboration with McYoung Foods, the makers of Awesome Granola. To learn more about Awesome Granola, head on over to www.awesomegranola.com or follow them on Instagram at AwesomeGranolaGF and Facebook at McYoung Foods. Awesome Granola. Fuel your freedom. Well, that's going to do it for me. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Ben Sparrow. You've been listening to The Awesome Factor, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.